line 3.
Hello.
Hi.
Have you ever thought about going into space, Richard?
I've always been a dreamer. My mum taught me to never give up and to reach for the stars.
And for me, that was a really big turning point for the industry. It was on that day of the X Prize that Sir Richard Branson announced that he was going to be investing in taking it to the market. That was really where Spaceship was born and ultimately the beginnings of our program as well. Experiencing that versus just knowing about it or being told about it is a very different motivation.
The best way to prove that something works the way you think it should is by going and trying it.
To me, it's worth it. When I see Spaceship, I think about the future we are building here, and I see the sacrifices we've all made to contribute to this mission.
3, 2, 1, release.
Fire.
So today's a really exciting day here in Mojave. It's our first captive carry flight, our first time that we're going to go fly Spaceship Unity. So today is captive carry, and we're going to leave Spaceship attached to WhiteKnightTwo the whole time. And it's an exciting chapter. The pilots are on board and trained. The systems are ready to go, and we can fly free if we need to. Staying mated to WhiteKnightTwo lets us really take advantage of a flying wind tunnel. We can test all the aero surfaces. So the pilots today are going to put those systems through their paces, see the range of motion, the forces behind those surfaces, literally measure the loads on the sticks, and make sure nothing's vibrating or fluttering in a way that we didn't intend it to. A lot of the test points for today were at altitude, 25, 35, 45,000 feet. By being up at altitude, we get very low pressure and very cold temperature, both things that we will fight in spaceflight, and want to make sure those systems are good. You know, we've done what we need to do to start flight testing, but we need to keep working on what it takes to make this vehicle live a lifetime. So it's not just 10 or 20 or 100 flight tests, it's 1,000 flights of commercial service. So, you know, it really is, at the end of the day, a hand-built spaceship. There's a lot of care and love and sweat and even tears that go into making this spaceship. It's both the manufacturing team, the production team, the engineering design team, the testing teams. They're artists, and they do a lot of amazing work. For each person here at the company, I think we all have a dream of making this thing a reality. We get to do that for someone else, but we get to do it ourselves, the act of delivering it. It's why I came to Virgin Galactic. I want to be intimately involved in putting people into space. I think that's why most people are here at the spaceship company and at Virgin Galactic. We're not just building a spaceship, we're not just building a spaceship company, we're building an experience, right? The thing we're delivering is a life-changing experience to people at the end of the day, and that's hugely motivating. And makes days like today super exciting because we know we're taking the next step down that path.
My name is Mark Stuckey, call sign's Forger, and I'm the lead test pilot. I always wanted to fly. One of my earliest memories is actually from following the space program. I was age 12 at the time, and one magazine we got was National Geographic. And in February of '72, there was an article on Apollo 15, and I read it, and right in there with it was an article on the early days of hang gliding. And that just intrigued me because here were these high school students building wings out of bamboo and plastic and actually flying. And you know, that was what I wanted to do. Once we arm for release, we treat it as if the spaceship could be dropped at any time. So I'm holding the controls in for the release, just to ensure clean separation the moment we get down to the count of 0. We're working on a program that can have a very definite impact 200 years from now, and it's really cool to be able to be a part of such a program.
I'm Gabriel Williams, and I'm the SpaceShipTwo Serial 2 project engineer. The best way to prove that something works the way you think it should is by going and trying it.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Clearly.
All right, here we go.
We call it the feather, and the idea behind that is it's kind of like a badminton birdie. You know, you throw that up, you can throw it straight up, and it's always going to come down with the nose of the badminton birdie first, and then the part that spreads is the feather, and it always comes afterwards, and that's because the aero forces always force it to come back in that orientation. Once we get to a slow enough speed, we'll unlock the feather, and then when we've gotten to a high enough angle of attack, then the co-pilot will pull the feather handle. At that point, the feather will start to raise.
Feather is full off, configuration checks.
But in reality, the feather stays in the same position and the cabin comes up, the cabin and the wing will come up, and then slowly the ship will pitch over. So if you're watching video of the cockpit during that time, you'll actually see the horizon change position as the feather comes up. And then as soon as that's done, we'll bring the feather back down. So the co-pilot will push the feather handle back in, the feather will slowly lower, and then we'll lock the feather back up.
Okay, the lock.
ADC left.
You had a good
Copy
lock.
ADC and good lock.
I'm Dave Mackay. I'm Virgin Galactic's Chief Pilot. We've been gliding it so far, but really what it's designed to do is go into space. And so obviously it's a big step forward for the company, for everybody in the company.
So today I'm going to be in Spaceship alongside Mark Stuckey, and then in White Knight, Mike Masucci, Nicola Pacelli, and Dustin Mosher will take us up to 50,000 feet or close to 50,000 feet where we will be released. Once we're released, I will light the rocket motor and we will begin this very exciting new phase of testing on Spaceship Unity.
Because I was brought up in an area of Scotland where a lot of low flying was taking place. I would see aircraft flying at high speed at very low altitude over my village on a daily basis. So, you know, as a young boy, it looked extremely exciting and I wanted to be a pilot. I often describe it as similar to, you know, a big game. You've trained and you feel fit and ready and prepared and you know your tactics and so you're not scared, but you're not completely relaxed either. You know, you're kind of keyed up and ready for it.
Stick forward, I'm not sure. Ship. Oh, just a yellow. 5, 3, 2, 1, release. Fire.
And so I went back to England, wrote my thesis, and found every person connected to Virgin Galactic in the UK and convinced them to bring me on board the team. My name is Julia Hunter and I'm Vice President for Virgin Galactic.
We got up at 5 and walked over to where all the crowds were and basically stayed and watched the X-Prize flight.
It was a very magical moment. Everyone was very excited, and the big realization to me was the fact that we had stood there like no more than an hour and a half earlier and someone had just gone to space and come back again. And for me, that was a really big turning point for the industry. It was on that day of the X Prize that Sir Richard Branson announced that he was going to be investing in taking it to the market. That was really where Spaceship was born and ultimately the beginnings of our program as well. I think humans have a natural curiosity just to go discover and go learn. It's part of why humanity's gotten to where it is. Virgin Galactic and what we're trying to do is so much a part of my life. This is a family now. My kids have grown up around this program and they've really lived it just as I have. Spaceship is a first word in our family. You do the mommy, daddy, spaceship. They aren't aware, but they will look back on those memories and realize that they were really part of something, both themselves, but also just from the support they're giving me to enable me to be both a mom and vice president. You know, they will continue to grow with the program, they will see where it goes, and maybe they'll fly on the spaceship in the future. Experiencing that versus just knowing about it or being told about it is a very different motivation.
Still a good pitch rate. Amazing view.
One of the biggest things that I think Virgin Galactic has to offer is the ability to bring a civilization to space.
Beautiful black sky.
With a shift of perspective for realizing like where you've come from, what you've done, where you're headed. We are a species that lives in the space age, but on a day-to-day basis, most people are unconnected with that. Getting a civilization, which is a large enough group of people off-world to see the world with their own eyes and experiencing it, is what the human race needs.
Astronaut 001, Richard Branson. I'll be evaluating the customer spaceflight experience.
Pilot Mike Masucci. I'll be in the cockpit for my second spaceflight.
To a Virgin Galactic mission specialist.
Astronaut 004, Sirisha Bandla. I'll be testing the researcher experience.
Astronaut 003, Colin Bennett. I'll be evaluating cabin procedures during boost and weightlessness.
Astronaut 002, Beth Moses. I'll be spaceship cabin lead and test director.
you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream. To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do. This is unbelievable. This is too unbelievable.
Please return to your seats and strap in towards your re-entry. Get back up.
Thank you.